Remote village, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lived a mysterious woman named Nuru. She was known throughout the village for her striking beauty and enigmatic charm. People whispered about her as she passed by, for though she smiled kindly and lived quietly, there was something unsettling about her presence. Nuru had no family of her own, no close friends, and no husband. She lived alone at the edge of the village in a small, thatched hut surrounded by tall trees and wildflowers. Despite her isolation, Nuru had a peculiar habit. She always seemed to take a keen interest in the lives of others, particularly the young men of the village. Many women would often find their husbands or sons speaking of strange dreams, of nights filled with restlessness, as if something was lurking in the shadows of their sleep. Some complained about clothes disappearing mysteriously from their homes, particularly underwear. It became a growing rumor, a whispered fear among the villagers, but no one had proof of what was happening. One evening, as the moon hung low and full over the village, two young women, Juma and Sana, decided they had had enough. Both were strong and brave, known for their curiosity and their bond as friends. Their brothers had been complaining for weeks about strange sensation at night, and they noticed a few pieces of clothing had gone missing from their homes too. The women decided to investigate and figure out the source of these strange happenings. "I've heard that the strange dreams only began when Nuru came to our village," said Juma, as they walked down the village path under the moonlight. "What if she has something to do with it? People say her house feels haunted, as if spirits roam there. But there has to be a reason for this, and we need to find out," Sana replied. Late that night, under the cover of darkness, the two women snuck into the forest toward Nuru's hut. As they approached, they could hear soft humming coming from inside, an eerie, melodic sound that sent shivers down their spines. They hid behind a large tree, peeking through the open window of the hut. Inside, they saw Nuru performing a strange ritual. She sat in front of a large clay pot, her eyes closed, and in her hands, she held a piece of cloth underwear. As Juma and Sana watched in horror, Nuru dipped the underwear into a mixture of herbs and thick, black liquid. She murmured strange words in a language they didn't understand, and as she did so, the air in the hut seemed to thicken with a dark energy. The clay pot bubbled, releasing an acrid smell into the air. Suddenly, Nuru's eyes snapped open, and a cruel smile crept across her face. She gently placed the underwear inside the pot, letting it dissolve into the mixture. Juma and Sana covered their mouths to stifle their gasps. It was clear now, Nuru had been stealing the underwear of men in the village and using it for her dark magic. She had been casting spells to control their dreams, weaving nightmares and strange feelings into their minds. Worse still, her magic had a sinister purpose. She sought to drain the energy and vitality of the men, slowly weakening them so she could feed on their life force and stay youthful and beautiful. The two women knew they had to act quickly. They rushed back to the village and told the elders what they had seen. The elders, shocked and horrified, decided to confront Nuru the next morning. At dawn, the entire village gathered outside Nuru's hut. The elders demanded she explain herself, but Nuru, with a wicked gleam in her eyes, simply laughed. "You villagers have no idea what power is," she sneered. "I have lived for centuries, feeding on the energy of fools like you. You think I steal merely for mischief? No, I take what is mine by right, the strength of your men, the life force that sustains me." The villagers recoiled in disgust, and the elders immediately ordered Nuru to be banished from the village. But Nuru, knowing her time was up, raised her hands and began chanting. Before she could complete her spell, Juma and Sana stepped forward, clutching a sacred herb known to ward off evil magic, one they had collected from the forest just the night before. They threw the herbs into the air, and the wind carried them toward Nuru. The herbs sizzled as they met her skin, and her chant was cut short. She screamed, her body trembling as her beauty began to melt away like wax. Her true form, an ancient and withered creature, emerged beneath the illusion she had cast for so long. The villagers watched in shock as Nuru, now powerless, crumbled into dust, leaving nothing but a pile of ashes where she once stood. From that day forward, the village was free from strange dreams and missing clothes. The men's strength returned, and the whispers of dread that once haunted the village faded into memory. Juma and Sana were hailed as heroes, their bravery saving the village from a dark force that had lurked among them for too long. And though Nuru was gone, her story remained a warning. There are those who seek power through vile means, but in the end, their darkness will always be brought to light. The end.